You're the first person I'll confess this to. So sabi ko, okay, it's a matter of principle. Hindi ako manunood ng crash landing on you.
Ako, I miss samgyupsal. Do you enjoy?
Oh, oh yes. Korean food is so good. And then getting your hair smelling like samgyupsal.
So nice to meet you po.
That's the verb pala. I-meet. Yeah. Nice meeting you too.
You know, it's so funny because I feel like in the last 2 years of the pandemic, parang sobrang sanay na po tayo na through screens lang nakikipag-usap at nakikipag-connect sa tao.
Yeah, true, true.
And honestly, nakakapagod din po siya talaga
Yes.
to connect through a screen and not be able to talk to people personally. Yeah, so I'm just wondering po, how do you battle that kind of Zoom fatigue, especially now because a lot of the government hearings are all through Zoom and it can be very difficult sometimes dahil po sa connection. So I'm just wondering po how you power through it.
Well, I guess I start, Miss Kyla, with recognizing what you just said. And I'm so glad na importante rin sa iyo that itong mga Zoom-mediated meetings and talking and being together, ayun, mediated lang talaga siya. May intermediary tayo of these gadgets and the technology. I'm grateful for them kasi at least it enables us to still keep in touch, to not be completely cut off from each other. Pero kahit malungkot isipin, importante pa rin sa akin to remember na walang kapalit pa rin yung actually being together and really talking, really meeting. And I look forward talaga pag nakaahon na tayo sa pandemic na to, that in the new and better normal, we can reestablish really being with the people we're with. It's so hard also for students. Yung bunso ko, the youngest of 4, she's a freshman now in college. Grabe, she has never really met her classmates. Imagine.
Wow!
Oh, di ba? Ganun din yung mga freshmen sa high school. Unlike us, we had the joy of being on campus, really being with our friends, our barkada, literally hanging out together. Para sa akin, walang kapalit din yun eh. Even working online, di ba, yung ating work from home. Sabi nung ibang mga managers and even employees, rank and file, na parang we were not ready as a country, as a people, for the complete work from home setup. Hindi lahat nakakayanan talaga to work optimally or maximally ganito lang online. So I think people are also looking forward to kapag, like in one of my bills, balik trabahong ligtas, when we can go back to work again in our workplaces and know na COVID-free sila, safe sila, healthy. These are some of the things I keep in mind. And kapag napapagod ako, kasi you're right, nakakapagod din mag-Zoom all day, every day. Talagang, break muna. If I
Yeah.
need to, di ba, lie down or take a nap, kahit 20 minutes power nap lang during the day, then I do.
But you know, Sanrisa, I have to say, even though you are so busy and everything, you are still so fresh.
Salamat. Oh, thank you.
Hopefully, I will be graced
From
with the
you, that's great.
opportunity to meet you in person.
Oh, I love to. Let's do that. Oh.
Yeah. I'm just curious, Henry. So, what are some of your non-negotiable rituals to sort of keep your mental health? How do I say it? To keep yourself mentally stable.
Siguro yung isa doon, Miss Kala, when I start to feel tired or sad, or yun na nga, yung nag-discharge din yung social battery ko, I really have to stop and pause. Even if I have to tell my colleagues, teka, break muna ako sandali. Kasi kako, let's reserve, 11 p.m. onward or a weekend day, time to rest. Kasi we each really need to recharge
Yeah.
and to, di ba, to feel happy, to not let it also become an abusive working environment for anyone, di ba? I'm very watchful about that for the people around me and also for myself, kailangan. And for my kids, for that matter. So, yun talagang, that's part of self-care na. Mm-mm.
And especially because I'm sure the research that goes into your advocacies and yung mga acts and
Mm-mm.
bills that you are passing, I'm sure not easy to read up about or to the
Oo.
information that you guys find. It's
And I have a great team who really do, make sure that as much as we can, I have the complete research about a certain bill or
yeah,
resolution or budget item. And so I really need to and want to devote the time para basahin yon, intindihin yon, para magamit ko sa legislative work namin. And it takes time I mean, tao lang naman tayo. We're living within time and space and we have to respect that. And we have to set our own parameters, even our own boundaries and limits.
yes.
Oo.
So Senrisa, given that, how do you keep yourself motivated?
Ah,
Stay
yeah.
focused because I'm sure at times it can be frustrating, and the work that you guys do, it's so amazing, but at the same time you can just imagine how difficult it can be from a day to day. So how do you keep yourself motivated?
I go back to the springs, yung mga batis ng mga orig na inspirasyon ko. Kung ba't ko pinili yung buhay nito, why my team and I are in this line of work. So, para doon ako magre-recharge. It's like, a deer going back to a stream or a pool in a forest and drink from there again. So, ano ba yung mga inspirasyon ko? Yung mga taong mahal ko at minamahal ako. Yung pride ko in being Filipino. Tapos yung sense of wonder ko and pleasure in the beauty of nature. Tapos yung yaman ng mga sining at mga kultura natin. And then even my own spirituality. For every person, whether that's a religion or a humanism or a philosophy or a spirituality. So to keep myself motivated, especially on bad days or days na I feel maybe not optimistic or even pessimistic, I always choose to hope kasi babalikan ko, and that's why I also need time and space to do it. Babalikan ko yung mga orig na inspirasyon ko para doon ako mag-recharge. Tapos maalala ko, okay, this is why I'm doing this. And in my community of kindred spirits and fellow travelers, to be with them, to talk with them, hear from them na, okay, ito yung mga dahilan why we're doing this stuff.
I feel like then during the pandemic, it's so easy to get burnt out
Oh,
and
yes.
feel like your life is in a loop. It helps then po to have pets.
Oh,
I don't know if
nice.
you have
Yes.
pets.
A lot. Naku po. We have more pets than I have children.
Really?
Kasi yung third child ko, she's an animal lover talaga.
Oh my god.
Nag-ano siya, nagfo-foster siya. And then ina-adopt out niya. Mostly cats. Yeah, I think we have maybe a dozen cats right now in our
Oh,
garage.
really?
Oo.
They really comfort you
Oh,
and
really?
they really don't have to do much, but just having them around is
Diba?
a blessing.
You have pets too then.
Yes,
Yeah, you're speaking from experience.
we have 10 dogs now.
Whoa!
No cats. My mom doesn't like cats.
Okay.
But we have 10 dogs. My mom also
Wow.
foster.
Ako, I've been talking so much. Hindi kita natanong kanina, you mentioned na you're quarantining so much. How do you manage it?
Well, yun nga po, one thing is at least I have my family here, so I
Yeah.
don't feel like I'm by myself. But also I started looking back at, I used to bake a lot
Oh, wow!
as a kid. That was my
Happy.
favorite thing to do.
Oh my gosh. I used to also bake more than cook when I was young.
Ah,
I'm so
really?
glad you love baking too.
I love that we have that in common. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite. I actually can bake more than I can cook as well. And my mom, kasi she is an amazing cook.
Oh, wow. That's
Sa
on my
tagal.
that's on my long bucket list to learn how to cook again kahit na pag-retired na ako.
Oh my gosh, it's so
Yeah.
fun. And I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to maybe seeing some videos of you cooking. Seriously. That's
Sige, I'll let you know
amazing
pag
content.
natuto na ako ulit.
Speaking of
Over to the
food, I'm
Yes.
sure Sari, you love food as well. That's
Who doesn't?
who doesn't?
Yeah.
Exactly. Ako rin.
Yeah.
So what is a pre-pandemic food that you would want to have or that you miss?
Mga paborito ko would always include vegetables, kaya salads. There's this fantastic healthy, unhealthy salad na bagnet salad.
Wow, bagnet.
Yeah. Oo, di ba? So bagnet, oh dear. Pero super sarap. And then, since they made it into a salad, oh, healthy na rin. Tapos seafood, I really love.
Wow.
Pinaputok is one. Although, sorry, freshwater ba yun? Then, another freshwater pala, pero fish pa rin. Yung hito with mustasa and buro. Yun, I first learned of that food. It's a Kapampangan food, but I think I first ate it in Tarlac. Oo. Tapos, I love desserts. Nako, parang matter of principle, every meal has to end with a dessert. Otherwise, it's not a
Yes.
complete meal.
There's always room.
Correct.
Busog na busog na tayo.
Oo.
Always room. I super relate to that. Ako rin. I love dessert. Ako, I miss samgyupsal. Do you enjoy?
Oh, yes. Korean food is so good and
Yeah.
often healthy rather than unhealthy.
Actually, they say that
Diba?
it's healthier talaga.
Oo.
At first, I didn't want to believe because it's only barbecue, you know.
Oo.
And then after, it's like, wow, did I really just eat that much meat?
Correct.
But sabi naman nila, it is healthier naman. I miss
It's mostly grilled.
Yeah, because I miss the, being in the restaurant. And
Ay, oo. Iba. And then getting your hair smelling like samgyupsal.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Korean food. I haven't been to South Korea, pero sabi nila sobrang ganda daw.
You should
Oo.
go. You should
I
definitely
know.
go.
Yeah. So
My
you've
mom
been. I'm
loves-
glad.
Yeah, my mom loves K-dramas.
Oh,
So,
yes. Alam mo, Miss Kaila, recently, kasi my very first self-quarantine 2 years ago, I watched and fell in love with Itaewon Class.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I resisted kasi sabi ko, ayokong pauso. So sabi ko, okay, it's a matter of principle. Hindi ako manunood ng Crash Landing on You. But you're the first person I'll confess this to. Yung recent na self-quarantine ko, wala, bumigay na. Nanood na ako ng first episode ng Crash Landing. It's so good!
Really?
Maybe
You said so. Maybe I will watch it.
check it out. First episode, hindi ko pa gusto si Seri. But oh my God, si Captain.
Captain Lee.
Sobrang crushable.
Oh my God.
Ay, nako.
So speaking of series and shows
Yeah.
and stuff like that, I heard that at one point in your life, your dream was to become an actress.
Yeah, that was my first love. Theater and music.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
So,
cool.
I was with Repertory Philippines, with the greats, Lea Salonga, Monique Wilson, and the Lauchenko siblings, Menchu and Raymond, in Sound of Music. So that was my first love before falling in love with activism. Ay nako, pero itaga mo sa bato, Miss Kaila. Pag retired na ako sa formal politics, kahit nanay na ako, kahit maging lola na ako, babalik ako sa first love. Yung mga first love, minsan mababalikan at dapat balikan. And for me, that's the case for theater and music. Yeah, I will audition for nanay and lola roles.
Oh my gosh,
Back in theater.
Sana makatrabaho kita.
I wish
Sana
I could be your
makatrabaho
mom or your lola eventually.
Feeling ko ate lang, sorry.
Diyos ko! Older ate. Pero Pero ikaw, kasi sabi mo nga you're an actress yourself. Your parents are actors.
Yes.
It must be very difficult shooting in a bubble right now. So how do you do it?
Um, well, I just started my career as an actress.
Yes.
So currently I'm on the teleserye called Viral Scandal.
Yes.
Parang yun po yung parang debut ko into the acting
Happy.
industry. So
Right.
being in a bubble, it's quite different because
Uh-huh.
you're gone for weeks at a time working.
Right.
Honestly, it was easier than I expected. I was surrounded by such warm and caring people, not just the
Happy.
cast, but even the
Oo.
production. So it was
Right.
such a good working environment that I really,
Happy.
after a while, I really felt so at home.
Ang
The sad
galing.
part about it nga lang is, pag tapos na,
Oo.
parang you feel na parang, oh my gosh, tapos na. I don't know when I'm gonna work with these people again. You have time, Sanrisa, if you wanna watch it.
Thank you. I will.
So going back, Sanrisa, to your work,
Mhm.
I know that you're hoping to pass the Anti-Online Sexual Abuse and Exploitation of
Yes.
Children Act. And
Yes.
honestly, I'm very curious about what this act covers.
Mm. It's an expansion of our old anti-child pornography law. Oo, kasi this anti-OSAIC bill has tried to make us catch up with the developments in technology. Dati kasi dun sa lumang Anti-Child Pornography Act, wala pang uh, phenomenon of streaming, di ba?
Yeah.
Tapos wala pang explicit judgment that all child pornography materials are exploitative, are abusive. Mas explicit dito sa anti-OSAIC bill yung sensitivity, responsiveness, carefulness in dealing with the child victim survivor and enabling him or her to rehabilitate after that experience. So yun.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm so excited for this bill to be passed because
Salamat.
I also have, very young nieces and a nephew. So, and
Okay.
because social media and the use of devices are so rampant, I feel like it's so important that they be protected. So
Okay.
I'm praying that this bill be passed really
Oh,
soon.
thank you.
And we all know that there has been some fake news against you because of
Yeah.
the roles that you take on. And isn't it exhausting and also to some extent scary? And
Yeah.
how do you keep yourself focused in that sense and to constantly push yourself to still fulfill your purpose as a public official?
Totoo, tama ka, Miss Kyla. It can be very uh, exhausting. Before in Facebook, for example, I would have to wade through a lot of basura to get to real messages from real people. Um, and sometimes, yes, it can get scary and maddening, as in nakakagalit. Like, I mind more than threats to me, threats to, say, my children. I've had some terrible people threatening my kids with kidnapping or threatening my daughters and me with different, sexual violence against us women. So,
Wow.
talagang, yeah, terrible. I mean, I have to just, get over feeling angry kasi natural na damdamin natin yon lalo na bilang babae. And just to say, okay, I have to keep my head above water. All the more I have to, you know, keep myself out there in the field of debate and keep my voice out there in a very sexist and misogynistic culture, 'di ba? Pag nakakaranas tayo ng ganito as women, all the more we realize why we have to keep speaking out for women's rights and welfare or for the rights and welfare of persons of diverse soji. These kinds of attacks give us all the more reason to stick to our advocacies.
Yes, absolutely. And having said that, I just want to thank you personally for all the work that you've been doing. I'm so glad that I've been given this time to have a conversation with you.
Likewise, I've enjoyed it.
How grateful I am to have met you. And yeah, please continue doing what you're doing and continue to
My best.
inspire all of us.
Salamat.
So much for spending your day with me today.
Thanks so much to Miss Kyla. It's been a special morning for me meeting a young person like you who cares so much and gives so much. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay ka, Miss Kyla. Carry on, ha? I'll watch you. I'll watch viral
Scandal.
scandal. Okay.
Thank you so much, Senrisa.
Salamat. Ingat. Stay healthy. Stay happy.
So much.